Hello and good morning, and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk Radio. Today we are going to answer the question, is dark feminine energy rising? So I've heard this topic talked about a lot lately, and when I first heard it, I remember thinking, what does that mean? So I looked it up, and I wanted to read a few of the definitions that I found to help us understand what it means. So the dark feminine is one half of the divine feminine. She's not negative. She's not the negative shadow aspect of the feminine, but rather the dark, fiery, transformational aspect of womanhood. Excuse me. I apologize. I also found a list of dark feminine energy traits from a website called Rev-O-Lune, kind of like revolution, but Rev-O-Lune. And the article is entitled How to Embrace Dark Feminine Energy and Unleash Your Power. And so it lists some of the dark feminine energy traits, which are passionate, creative, authentic, fearless, powerful, magnetic, fierce, and transformational. It goes on to list some qualities that could be considered disempowered feminine energy, which could be things like codependence, being overly dramatic, lacking self-confidence and self-worth, struggling to assert boundaries, manipulating others, and possibly having a partner who isn't in alignment with your highest self. So instead of calling it the dark feminine, after reading some of this, I'm like, that should be referred to as the healed feminine, should be another way to describe that. And I absolutely believe that we're heading into an era where you're seeing more females step into their power and realize their worth and not settle for less. And it is beautiful to witness. We are awakening. I think that not only women, but our society is going through a mass awakening, a mass healing, and you see it everywhere you look. And we're awakening to so many different things. We're awakening to, corruption. We're awakening to our feminine power, how poorly people have been treated, just oppression, just so many things. And one of the biggest shifts that I've seen lately is women realizing their worth. And, however many months ago that Roe, v. Wade was overturned and we're getting our rights taken away, I see it even more now. I see women are pissed. We're pissed. And so we're fighting back. We're rising up. We're taking a stand. And it's so awesome to witness. And I feel, even though these are scary and unprecedented times, I feel almost honored to be able to witness the power of the feminine that has come through during really hard, challenging moments like this. So I was talking to a friend the other day, and she's also single. And, we were talking about whether or not we even wanted a partner. I've gotten to a place in my life at the beginning of the pandemic. I was dating this guy, right before the pandemic started, and then that ended. And for a while, probably about a year into the pandemic, I just felt really lonely. Not just because I had lost a partner, but because, you're not with your family, you're not with your friends. We had to stay socially distanced, and it was just hard. I lived by myself. And it's so funny, it's been 3 years, and now I feel empowered to be single. I don't feel lonely. I rarely feel lonely. It's taken me a while to get to that place where I've always enjoyed my own company, but I truly do enjoy my own company, and I have time for my own hobbies and my own enjoyments and following my dreams, following my passions. And in this conversation with my friend, I started telling her, we started going into very in-depth detail about how sometimes, and maybe you can relate to this, when you have a cis-het male partner, very often they're looking for a handful of things, such as they want a mommy, they want a nurse, they want a maid, they want a cook, they want somebody to, and that's about it. Not all of them, not all men, but most of them, unfortunately. And they don't seem to, like, I just start to notice a theme, right? They don't seem to want to get to know us, get to know women sometimes. Again, not everyone. On an intellectual level, they don't oftentimes seem to care about our hopes and our dreams and our interests, and we're done with it. We've gotten to a point where we're like, grow, evolve, heal, like we're doing, or we're done. We're not doing this anymore. We're happier single than dealing with your BS. Like, well, let's be honest. And so I read a study the other day that said by 2030, they're predicting that over 40% of women will be single and childless by choice. By 2030. There's already a rise of it. And there was a huge rise in divorces during the pandemic, as we all know. One of a different friend got a divorce during the pandemic, and this conversation just came to mind when we were texting, and she told me that she was getting a divorce. At first I said, I'm so sorry. It seems to be like the automatic response when somebody's getting a divorce. I'm so sorry that's happening to you. And she was like, I'm not. And I wrote back and I said, you know what? Funny that we say I'm sorry when sometimes we should congratulate on having the strength to get out of that marriage, because I don't know any happy marriage that ended in divorce. And we both had a laugh, like, that's so true. We should be congratulating women on taking their power back and having the strength to leave very difficult situations sometimes. And again, we're seeing a lot of this lately. Women are stepping into their power, if you want to call that dark feminine energy or healed feminine energy, whatever it is. It's really beautiful to be in this time and space and be able to witness it. Another thing I want to talk about is there was a study done that women, single, unmarried women without children, are the happiest subset of people. The happiest right below that are single women with children. And you would assume, I mean, we're programmed our entire life to assume that, like, marriage is what you want and kids are what you want. The most unhappy group of people are, unfortunately, this makes me really sad, married women with children. And then you want to ask yourself, why is that? It's because, and these women, wrote into this study that I was talking about, and women were explaining why they feel that way. It's because they said a lot of times when they're married and they have a cis-het male husband, a lot of times they feel like they just have an older child living with them. It's an additional child to take care of because their partner doesn't put in equal effort. They aren't an equal partner. So they're having more dishes to do, more laundry to do, that sort of thing. There's another study that I read that said that single women with children do less housework than married women with children, which is crazy. You would think it would be the opposite because you have a partner there to help you. But no, a lot of times, not all men, but a lot of times, men just don't put in the equal effort. They're not an equal partner. And women are fed up. And when they are single with children, they're doing less housework because they're just taking care of them and their children, not some, another, sometimes adult baby that we don't want to take care of. And women are realizing that, oftentimes, even with full-time jobs, we're still in this, what they call traditional gender roles, which is bullshit, if I'm being honest, where it's like the women have to take care of the household, but yet we all work full-time jobs. This has to shift. It has to shift. And I started thinking about, how do we shift it? How do we create that change? Obviously, with women rising up, stepping into their power and showing their partners, listen, if you don't change, I'm leaving, I'm out of here because I'm happier by myself. I'm happier single. And I think that that's one way, obviously, that's helping to change, because I do see some men slowly changing and slowly starting to get it. Like, oh, okay. Another thing is obviously teaching our sons everything that you would be teaching your daughters. That's still kind of taboo a little bit. Like when you're teaching your daughters how to cook, your son should be right there too, learning how to cook. When you're teaching your daughter how to take care of a household, your son should be right there too, learning how to take care of the household. You're teaching your children how to take care of siblings as they would take care of their own children one day. All of those things, the sons should also be a part of. And a lot of times they weren't, and I'm not like, how do I put this? I get that some men just weren't taught that, but at this point, you need to learn. Like we're sharing what we need from you. Women are sharing what we need from you, and you need to heal, and we want to be treated like equals. And you need to start calling out other misogynistic men for, predatory behavior and all of that sort of stuff. And again, I am seeing more and more of this as women speak up and really start talking about what we're doing right now on this podcast about what we need and what we want from our cishet partners, the more change is going to take place. So answering the question again, is dark feminine energy rising? I absolutely believe it is. But again, I would better classify it as our healed feminine energy is rising. Women are more passionate than ever, more creative than ever, more authentic than ever, more fearless than ever, more powerful, more magnetic, more fierce, more transformational. We're setting more boundaries than ever. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. It's just really, really awesome to be here during this time. And we see our worth now, and we're not ever going back to before. So we have come to the end of today's episode, and I thank you so much for joining me today. As you know, I'm also a mindfulness and anxiety coach. If you're interested in a session with me, please visit my website for more information, meganshirey.com. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. We record these episodes every Sunday at 11 a.m., and they are available on all major podcasting platforms on Monday mornings at 7. If you enjoy our content or you have a question or an episode idea, please leave us a review or a comment, and may you be happy, may you be well, may you be joyous and at ease, sending you infinite love and light. And until next time.